Good morning. This is your wake up call.
It's time to wake up, Wisconsin.
Wake me up!
All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Wake up, Daddy Sean.
Here's your host, Josh Albrecht.
1-2, McGill, and he struck him out! And the ball game is over! Trevor McGill nails down save number 24. A 2-1 Brewers win in the opener of this three-game series. Makes a winner out of the Miz. Riley on the first pitch, double play ball here. Pratt flips it to Ray, fires it, double play, and the ball game is over. Aaron Ashby notches the save.
Dubon shaded up the middle. Here it comes. A check swing. Iglesias. He threw it dirt. It's scooped. Oh my goodness! What a play to end it. Iglesias bailed by Dubon, and then it's Olsen who swallows one in the dirt.
Everything was great until you take BA off the call. Good morning, Wisconsin. This is Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morse alongside, of course, along with all of you on a Monday morning. Happy Monday. It is still a happy Monday, despite the Brewers losing the Little League game, which we'll get into. But they won the series. And that's all we would have asked for against the Braves. That's all I asked for. Just win the series. I didn't expect a sweep. A lot of other exciting things happened over the weekend as well. But the biggest thing, and usually, you know, I will. I'll let Aaron talk. Aaron, how are you? How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. I was trying to figure out what I did this weekend.
I can tell you what you did.
Hey, what happened?
Worked all day Saturday.
What's that on your face?
Oh, yeah, you like it?
If
Looks
you're not
good,
watching the show on the Growth Law video stream, I feel like I am now doing a show with a young Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, that means it looks good.
You decided to go mustache.
So, yeah, baseball team is in the playoffs. So
Okay.
last week, apparently I was supposed to. Nobody told me I was.
Okay.
And after the game, they're like, yeah, we're doing – a couple guys were like, yeah, we're doing stash. So this week I decided to do it.
So is this is just for baseball thing? This isn't something you're trying out.
Yep.
It's going to go away. What about if everyone loves it?
Then maybe I'll keep it.
Okay. So it's going away
here,
no matter what.
I'll tell you this. It's got to stay through the week because I left my entire bag of toiletries at my parents' house. So
yeah, there's no other way to get a new razor.
Well, I don't need. Not worth going to buy it, and
yeah, it's just gonna be there.
Just gonna go buy a toothbrush and toothpaste and call it good for the week, and then I'll get them next weekend or this weekend.
I'm so undecided on it. I was not expecting it when I came in this morning, but the young Ron Swanson look, it might work for you.
No, thanks.
Especially because like you're very monotone, kind of like him. So I don't know. This might be a new thing.
I might have to keep
Aaron
it.
Morris. You might have to. The caterpillar on your face. All right. Anyway, what really happened?
Hey, what happened?
What happened this weekend is the Brewers took care of the Braves. Yes, they lost Game 3 in the Little League World Series game, Little League Classic, whatever you want to call it. I had a bad feeling about this game regardless. I'm going to call it PTSD from Vegas is what I'm going to call it. Some people out there are saying, as you would like to say, are saying that the Brewers fold under the lights. They can't handle the national pressure. I don't agree with that. As much as I will say the one-off goofy games, like, hey, let's have the Brewers play in a minor league park in Vegas. Okay, let's have them play in the Little League game. If they ever do the Field of Dreams game, I would not put my money on the Brewers to win that game either. I just feel like there's something about those type of games that the Brewers just don't win.
What happened last Saturday? then I mean, Brewers can't play in the big lights. They played it against the Dodgers on national TV. It played Fox, and they won 4-1.
Right.
So what happened?
Well,
Hey, what happened?
What happened?
they won. They won that game.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear it. They won on Friday with it wasn't a national game, but it was Miz, Chris Sale. That's basically a national game because everyone's going to keep their eyes on it. They won that game. Those are the big games that they've won in the last two, like the big games. I don't know. It's just they lost the game.
Right. Right. So I'm not taking that as personally, but I will say that I had a feeling. I had a feeling going into that game, which is why I was so pumped when they took care of business on Friday and Saturday. I mean, obviously, you would have loved a little bit more of run support for Miz and the pitching staff in that game, but they still win on Friday, and then they get a few more runs on Saturday. Henderson also pitched well, and then it was like, great, series is locked up. It made going into watching the game yesterday a lot more enjoyable for me, knowing this wasn't a must-win to secure the series.
I'm looking at the talk and text line from last night with the post-game show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, people. Like, relax. Every single text message last night is just like last night was the worst thing that's ever happened to this team. I would have rather lost 22-0 than endure that.
Well, listen, yesterday's game was frustrating.
Sure, but like they lost 4-2. And yeah, the Braves probably shouldn't have scored 3 of their 4 runs. But it's like those nights happen. You lose 4-2. I don't know. They didn't play that poorly. It's not like that big of a deal that they lost that game. This is like feels like people are reacting to a World Series loss here.
Yeah, I mean, right. Listen, first of all, this is passionate fans getting ready for September, and that's what I'm taking it as. But it was a frustrating loss. The amount of opportunities, the men left on base, just if the Brewers were going to lose, this was a very Brewery way to lose, right? Is not taking advantage of the opportunities, not hitting the long ball, the getting men on base but not getting them home.
I'll blame it on not playing at home, having to go to Williamsport for the one-off. They don't get a home game. They only have 80 home games now this year. They lose out on the 45,000, 42,000 people that would have been at the game and all of that momentum. And somehow William Contreras, I guess the cold weather, or the colder weather last night doesn't allow William Contreras to walk it off. That ball in the 9th inning was hit.
Yeah, it was
really hard.
It was. I saw something that said that if that was hit at American Family Field, it would have been gone.
I saw it would not have been gone. It would have been gone in 7 parks, not American Family Field. That is according to Adam McKelvey and the robot overlords at StatCast.
Got it.
But
so it would have been gone anyway.
That doesn't take into account weather, though, and
sure
wind. Like it.
I think it would have been
distance it went
in Milwaukee too.
The distance it went is the distance it went. It wouldn't say, well, yeah, there was 20 miles per hour of wind blowing against it, so it would have been a homer in all the parks. But
either way, I'm just saying I don't think it would have left the park. Either way. So to me, it wouldn't have mattered. And more importantly, as much as yesterday's game was not a fun game to watch as a Brewers fan, they still won the series. One thing that I think is really interesting that you brought up is the people that are like, man, on top of this, think about how much money the Brewers lost because they didn't get a Sunday home game. Doesn't it kind of feel like that when this was first announced, I was like, this is not the same as if the Packers lost a home game. Right? Like if you take a home game away for a London game or some other, non-home home game, that's different in the NFL because you only get 8 or 9 of those. You get 80, you get 81.
Yeah, I would say though the money for the Packers there isn't as important as money might be for the Brewers.
Sure.
Because the Packers have boatloads of money already just saved up in reserve. And also it's the NFL and they're getting buku bucks anyways for this game, no matter where they're playing. Like, they're getting the money back in some way. The Brewers lose out on, I don't know, $1 million last night.
You think so?
Probably. I mean, think about it. If there's 42,000 fans there, let's say the average ticket price is $30.
Sure,
the
but
average.
You don't think the Brewers?
Low.
You don't think the Brewers got something from
MLB?
Probably,
maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I would expect that they still got something. I don't think any team would be willing to do this if they were sacrificing a significant amount of money. There has to be something in place. I also don't know the details, but I still don't think it's big of a deal. I don't think that this is going to be something to where we look back and we go, oh, well, the Brewers couldn't even make that guy an offer because they had to play in the Little League World Classic.
Hey, maybe. What if they lose out on a guy for $2 million because of $2 million? Or
that's the craziest thing to me.
What if you go to arbitration with Corbin Burns and haggle over $100,000 because you were at the Little League Classic instead of at home?
If anything, you're going to use that as an excuse, and it's a bad excuse. It's a bad excuse.
They lost out on $2+ million yesterday.
I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Listen, I would have preferred that they were home, but these things, that's the way these things go. I'm not going to say that this absolutely like crushed the team financially, like some people are saying. I'm not.
Hey, you know how many pounds of sand that is?
Yeah.
A lot.
Tons of sand.
Yeah.
Right. Here's what else happened.
Hey, what happened?
Shane Drowan pitched last night. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 walks, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, 83 pitches. He is going to be the guy in the bullpen, right?
Yeah. He's going to go. I think they've pretty much stated that he's going to be there soon. I don't know how much longer they're going with a 6-man rotation. But I think Murphy said that eventually Drowan will be going to the bullpen in a longer relief role.
And we're good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think he is. I mean, he was a reliever for the entire part of his career, basically, until this year. So he's got the experience with it, unlike Robert Gasser, who's really only been a starter in his career. Gasser would be the other one to move out of the rotation. So Gasser's more of a starter. Drowan's been more of a reliever. It just feels more natural for those guys to go that way for the rest of the season.
I just have a hard time looking at it, and like Drowan's been so consistent. Like, even if it hasn't been fantastic, he's been consistent. Like, has there been a game that Drowan started, at least maybe besides like the first or second, I don't even know, where he's given up like 6 runs, where he's like blown it? I don't think so. Like, that's the thing I like about having Drowan as a starter, as that consistency. He's not going less than 4 innings. He's not giving up 6 runs. He's holding his own. He's giving them a fighting chance.
I think part of it is that he also is at 105 innings, which is by far the most he's ever thrown in any season of his career. And I'm sure they would like to limit those innings the rest of the way so that he's not blowing through a guy that has injury history. And I don't know how many innings is his career high, but it's got to be somewhere around like 60 or 70, and he's already at 105. So that's probably part of it as well.
Looking at the offense in yesterday's game, you had Bowers, who continues to be the offensive MVP for this team, got an RBI single, and then Luis Lara with an RBI triple, who did not start the game. How do we feel about this? Is Lara forcing himself to be an everyday starter on this team?
I don't think so. I think he'll still split time with Garrett Mitchell. Lara he has been struggling. I mean, he hasn't had fantastic at bats the last week and a half, but he's a really nice player, and you can't like keep him out of the lineup forever. Like, I mean, he's going to play. He's just not an everyday guy right now.
I think it's tough because he's also had a bunch of defensive highlights. You know, we kind of right now, as he's trying to figure it out, I feel like he's maybe a little bit better than what Joey Ortiz was when he was at shortstop. Like, people are using the excuse of, well, yeah, but look at what he's doing for you defensively, like using that as a crutch for his offensive struggles, but in a better way. Like I still think he's giving you
I think
a better
some
offensive performance.
Lara's defensive plays are his own doing negatively, like bad jumps or bad routes that he has to make up for, which is fine. It's just that he's not.
You're
like
saying
some
that
of these
Luis Lara is a fraud. You're saying he's
no,
fraud?
I don't think he's as good of a defender as some of these plays he's making. Like you can get better jumps on balls and you don't have to slide or jump into the wall. And it's not like the Brewers outfield are bad defenders. Garrett Mitchell in center field, Sal Frelick when he comes back, really good defenders. Churio's a pretty good defender. Jake Bowers is the one that's weaker, but that's because he's not really an outfielder. But so it's not like Lara is like head and shoulders above anybody else in the outfield defensively, like Joey Ortiz is on the left side of the infield.
In case you were like, yeah, okay, that's baseball. Anything else happen?
Hey, what happened?
Yeah, there was a football game that happened. The Packers, they had the Broncos 33-13. Did you watch the preseason game?
Didn't watch a single second of it.
No?
No. Friday night. Oh, I was here. I was doing the Brewers post game.
Okay, so you were locked into baseball.
Yeah. That's
fine. It makes sense. I mean, obviously it was nice to get a win. I don't think that there was a ton to go off of. There were some good plays. It's so hard to judge a preseason game because so much of it is used as like a legit scrimmage. Like they will throw out plays specifically to test one guy or test a specific group of guys that are on the field at that time. And then you're going, what was that? And you're like, well, they're not worrying about the score as much. They're not making decisions as if this is an actual game.
It's nice to win easily in a preseason game, though. Doesn't feel like the Packers do this very often where they win 33-13. I know it doesn't mean that much, but it means a little something, like that they at least cared or tried or, and played well. You're not going to win 33-13 in a preseason game if you're playing poorly.
It's true. That's true.
Even if it's a preseason game.
Right. I was always very confused by why we aren't able to judge those games as much, because wouldn't you think that even if it's not your first stringers, like even if it's your second or third string guys that are trying to, then anything you're just proving like your quote unquote farm system, your backups are better than the other team's backups, right? Like we should be able to look at it that way, but we don't. I think it just depends on if they win. If the Packers win a preseason game, you go, well, good. Look, our guys are better. If they lose, then you look at it as an excuse and you just go, well, it's preseason.
Well, yeah,
the game didn't matter anyway.
Clearly, they played well. They outplayed the Broncos. They played harder than them. I think a lot of what I did see from the game shows that, and the score shows that. Again, I know it's a preseason game, but you have to you can take something away from a 33-13 win in terms of, oh yeah, they played well. That they did what they had to do, and they didn't even. I mean, they dominated the Broncos.
It's true.
That's fair to say for a preseason game.
All right. Coming up next, it's How'd You Sleep? And I slept great because of something that happened in that Packers preseason game. We're going to come back with that audio, but we want to know, how'd you sleep? How'd you guys sleep last night? It's a Monday. Brewers lost, but they still won the series. We want to know, how'd you sleep? What are you focusing on this Monday morning? Let us know on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Maybe you slept great, but then you woke up and you saw Aaron Morris's mustache and went, oh my God, I need to go back to bed.
Maybe.
Give us your thoughts now, 414-677-1250. All of that and more when we come back on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Baseball coverage on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi. One price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Sports Wake-Up Call. Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morse with you here this morning. And we're curious, how'd you sleep? How'd you sleep last night? How'd you sleep this weekend? I will tell you, I slept pretty good. Slept pretty good this weekend, Aaron, and it's specifically because of this play that happened in the preseason game.
By Schmack, little wind, and he's got the aim, and he's got the ball through. 59-yard field goal by the rookie. This is a position. He is the 5th kicker in the past 3 years, and he just drills a beautiful 59-yard field goal.
Kevin Harlan on the call there. That was awesome, right? Like the same thing that we talk about in training camp. It's kind of the same thing for preseason for me. Like the one thing that is not going to change is kickers making kicks, regardless of what plays you're running and who you're focusing on. A kicker kicking the ball successfully between the goalposts is the same. Doesn't matter what drill you run. They never run a drill to have a miss, right? That's always one that they're looking to have solidified. So having him not only go for 4 for 4 and have a perfect night, but having it be to where he also could just boot one almost 60 yards and it had the distance to be, I don't even more than 59. It's not like it just made it through, is great. Now, of course, obviously that was one preseason game and there wasn't as much pressure on him.
He's 8 for 8.
But to see that
2 preseason games
in the preseason, it's different than camp and he's dialing it in is fantastic. I don't like having kicker anxiety. I don't like having to worry about that in the middle of a season.
Is Trey Smack peaking too early?
Oh, God. No, this is not.
Is he making too many kicks?
No, stop. Please stop. Kickers do not have ups and downs in the same way other players do. It's either you figured it out and you're going to be a good, successful kicker or you're not.
Would you rather him miss kicks now?
Oh, my
God. So that he gets them out of the way.
Stop raging, people, on a Monday morning. That was great to see, and that made it easier for me to sleep this weekend. How about you, Aaron? How'd you sleep this weekend?
Pretty good. I thought the Brewers did what they had to do against the Braves. It's hard to sweep anybody, let alone the team with the 3rd best record in the National League and 4th best record in baseball. So, yeah, getting a little greedy, would have liked the sweep. Could have won the season series outright. And not needed a tiebreaker at the end of the year if it comes into play. But you're probably not going to need that tiebreaker because the Braves are 5 games back of you. So probably don't need it. I'm good with what happened this weekend for the Brewers. I'm really thrilled with what happened with the Packers. 33-13. I don't care that it's a preseason game. They went out there, they did their job, they handled business, and just they dominated the Denver Broncos. As much as it's a preseason game, I am thrilled with what they did on Friday night.
Yeah, I think it's hard to be upset with the Packers' effort in a preseason game.
I don't care that it was just a preseason game.
Sure.
I think winning by 20 and doing it the way they did in all facets of the game. Pierre Strong had a 68-yard kickoff return. So, and we've been talking about the special teams with Trey Smack kicking the ball. I think all around it was just a really nice game, and this is one that I was hoping to see after what happened in Pittsburgh, where it looked like they were soft and didn't really care too much. It was the total opposite on Friday, which I'm really thrilled with.
I mean, I'm glad that you can be there for that. I'm still not giving much more than just a few plays that I saw in that preseason game a whole lot of thought, because it's still a preseason game. I feel like if you get yourself too hyped over a preseason game,
but
you're setting yourself up to be disappointed in the regular season.
But isn't the whole point of the preseason to get ready for the regular season?
A lot of people would disagree. A lot of people would say no, because if you're playing at the same effort, you're what do they say?
Like the
third so this upcoming preseason game for the first half is what they usually say is like the only half of preseason football that's going to matter.
Oh, that's not going to be true for the Packers because they're not playing starters in that game.
Oh, they're not?
No. Matt LaFleur has already said he's very much prefers to not play the starters.
Well, traditionally, that's what you look for because then in the last game of the preseason, that's usually when it's like, all right, final cuts, who's going to make it, this is the last, all right, we got to decide between these two guys situation. We go to the Nicolay Law fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. We want to know how you guys slept. Annie says she slept great over the weekend. She went to the Brewer game on Friday, though, and when she saw Garrett Mitchell wasn't in the lineup, she almost turned the car around. He did come in later to DH. Thank God. Saw some awesome pitching as well. Yeah,
sounds like it was a nightmare for Annie.
Yeah. I mean, did not have enough opportunities to stare at Garrett Mitchell. We're not getting into that again. Jeff from Fox Point chimes in, says, where can we get those jerseys the Brewers were wearing when they arrived in Williamsport? Did you see those ones that said Midwest?
Yes.
And then they were like the same Brewers colors, but they said Midwest, kind of like a little league jersey.
Yeah. I don't think you can get those.
I don't know that those are going to be sold. Yeah. However, you could probably go to our friends Burghardt Sporting Goods and they could probably whip one up for you.
That's true.
I don't think that there's any like licensing for the word Midwest on a jersey. So I'm pretty sure that's not a licensed MLB product. You can probably get a knockoff of one of those pretty easily.
Maybe licensed Little League World Series product. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. Also, I'm just going to be the one to say I didn't think they were that great.
The jerseys?
I thought they kind of looked cheesy, Jeff.
Well, they're supposed to mimic a Little League World Series jersey.
Right.
Yeah. Those,
right.
I mean, they're kind of cheesy. They're nothing special.
It's just, I don't know. To me, it reminded me a lot of like a beer league softball-esque.
Maybe Jeff wants to wear it to beer league softball.
Maybe he does. He does. I'm not here to judge. You do you, Jeff. But that was Jeff was looking for that. I wanted to quickly, before we tease what's coming up in the most electrifying sound, I want to talk about the Brewers. You talked about that tiebreaker if they need it with the Braves. So right now they are 5 games up on the Braves in the standings. However, they're only 1 game up on the Dodgers for that top spot. Are we even thinking about that right now? I don't feel like we have. I feel like the focus has been all on the Central, which right now the Cubs are 6 games back, which we'll get to a little bit later in this hour. But I hadn't been focusing on it, but mostly I feel like I wasn't focusing on it because the Dodgers had that huge fall apart streak out of the trade deadline. And so my brain kind of just said, if you take care of the Cubs, you're going to be the number 1 seed. Now I'm thinking maybe not.
Yeah, this is the 1 versus 2 seed. You know, we talked about home field advantage. How important is having an extra game at home against the Dodgers for the 1 seed rather than the 2 seed? You get the bye as a 2 seed.
Right.
And as a 2 seed, you then would avoid the Cubs in that NLDS. You'd play probably you'd play the Braves or you'd play the Braves or the Diamondbacks or Phillies, whoever that third wild card is, the Padres maybe.
Yeah, Padres moved ahead of the Diamondbacks.
Because Cubs and Phillies would go, oh man, I don't know. Would you rather play the Cubs or Phillies or the Padres or Braves?
That's tough.
I know.
That's tough, especially remembering that the Padres swept the Brewers in San Diego.
And the Cubs are the Cubs.
And the Cubs are the Cubs. It's difficult. It's very difficult to see. And at this point, I don't think it's something that you focus on. You just focus on continuing to win.
A bye. I think you just get
You just got to get one of those. As much the thing is that we're still on pace to get 100 wins. Do you really think that if the Brewers get 100 wins this season, they're not going to have the best record in baseball? I don't see another team getting 101, 102.
The Brewers have to go 19-12, which means the Dodgers would have to go 21-10. 21
Yeah.
and they'd have to go because they'd have to outplay the Brewers because they have the tiebreak. So they have to go 21-10. I don't know. Can the Dodgers go 21-10? They can. Will they?
I don't think so.
I don't think they care enough to go 21-10.
That was my thing. I don't think they do either.
But they also have San Francisco for 6 games, Cincinnati for 4, Miami for 3, Cincinnati for 3 more, Washington for 3, St. Louis for 3. They don't have a
They don't have a lot of other
tough. They don't have a
competitors.
tough schedule. They played the Padres 3 times, and the Braves 3 times.
I get that. I still am staying in the lane of win the Central and you take the top spot. Even though the Dodgers are close, I think that the Cubs are still a good enough team that if you just focus on staying ahead of them, the rest of the math will work itself out. I could be wrong, but I think that's a safe lane to stay in. I definitely think that if you're worrying about that 2 seed, though, taking 2 or 3 from the Braves definitely doesn't hurt. Would it have been nice to sweep? Absolutely. I'm not sure that it's going to come down to, them being tied. Obviously, who knows? We still have a whole month and a week of regular season baseball, which doesn't it seem like we're much closer to postseason than we are? Like, I feel like the end of September vibes for the baseball season are already here, and it's the end of August. And I don't know if that's just because this year there are so many good teams in comparison to last year, to where it seemed like the Brewers were just running away with it by this point. And so there wasn't as much focus on the division or having to play that, but instead being like, holy crap, this could be the year because the Brewers are so dominant.
They also don't have 7 games at the end of the year against the Cubs. I think they ended up didn't they get done with the Cubs very early last year?
Yeah, they did.
They have 7 games, so that's part of it. If there weren't the head-to-heads remaining, I would feel way more confident about a 6-game lead at this, as confident as we were last year about the division being wrapped up.
Now, also keep in mind that that's how we were feeling. Then the Brewers did not have as good of a September as they had in August. I think they ended up still going just like a few games below 500 in the month of September last year, but the way they finished was poor.
They reached 80 wins faster last year than this year by a game.
Yep.
But they didn't get to 100 wins, which this team is still on pace for.
So we will talk about the reason why they are 6 games up, because as much as it was the Brewers kicking butt and taking names against the Braves in those first 2 games, and then, securing that series, they also got some help from the Mariners in very exciting fashion as the Mariners took care of business against the Chicago Cubs. And specifically, there was one play that I watched the highlight on Twitter over and over and over again, because yes, I like to hate watch as well. And there were plenty of opportunities to hate watch the Chicago Cubs over the weekend. We're going to play that for you in the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. That is coming up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Aaron Morris, and we're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
Sound of the Day.
The most electrifying.
Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Fly ball. This is tag. Center field. PCA can't get it. What has happened in Seattle? Randy Arozarena bookends the day with home runs and walks it off in 9. The Mariners take down the Cubs.
Woo! Call courtesy of Fox. That is the Randy Arozarena walk-off home run helping the Brewers. And that is the most electrifying sound of the day. Brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I was just thinking the other day about Best Electric. We had more people in the house, and we had them put in this specific light in the living room that now brightens the whole room instead of one part of the house. And I was like, man, I sat on that for way too long.
Is it a smart light? Like, can you turn it on and off with your phone or no?
No.
Okay.
It's just it's like I had for too long. I just had a basic light that then kept the room too dim. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not, I was just lazy. I was just lazy about it. And then I finally jumped on it, and they had it done in an hour. It's just from the time they show up, boom, done. It was great. Best Electric, give them a call, bestelect.com. Randy Arozarena, thank you for that moment.
Hey, and our good friend Leo Rivas on Friday. Our good friend who allowed us to score 22 runs.
Yes.
He had a walk-off too.
Crazy that both games that the Mariners won, allowing the Brewers to gain a game on the Cubs, happened to come in walk-off fashion. They were behind.
Yep.
But specifically that game that Arozarena hit, I was like, okay, this is over.
It was 5-2. I did too. Yep. And then I looked hours later, and I was like, what happened in Seattle?
So one of my buddies, shout out to Jordan, if you're listening, in one of the group chats that I'm in, I just got a text in that group chat, all caps, Randy! Exclamation point. And my first thought was, I was like,
Trailer Park Boys.
I was just like, Randy. We don't have a Randy. Is there a Randy on the path? No, that wouldn't make sense. It's a Saturday.
Randy Wolf.
Randy. What the hell do I know the Randy? And I was like, oh, Arozarena. Oh, Seattle? And then I went and I looked and I saw the highlight, and then I started freaking out. I was like, yeah. But just a random
funny if you
Randy.
It was funny if you were coming to the conclusion, you're like, Randy, you thought of Randy Wolf hitting a home run in the Brewers alumni game. You're like, dude, you're really late. That was a month ago.
It's just one of those things to where it's you never really know.
Yeah.
When someone's sending a vague post.
When you texted me last week when the Cubs were playing the White Sox, and I was like,
a 4-letter word.
Yeah. And I was like, what is he talking about?
Well, it's because you just texted
what
the
happened?
emotion.
I know. And
you
then I
text
was
the
like,
emotion
he's probably
first.
talking Cubs.
But that was awesome, and a great way for the Cubs to lose. I don't understand people right now that don't hate watch the Chicago Cubs. How are you not enjoying the highlights, or at least following along?
I just tune in kind of at the end of the day.
Man,
I don't know. I'm just, hey, did the Cubs win? Did the Cubs lose? Hey, did the Dodgers win? Did they lose?
Yeah, I'm not paying as much attention to the Dodgers. It wasn't until yesterday when I looked and saw that they were only a game
every
back.
day I look to see what the Reds and Cardinals did, as well as the Cubs. The Reds and Cardinals because I just hate them and want them to lose. The Cubs and Dodgers because of playoff race, and then a little bit of the Braves. I just peek to see what they do.
Well, either way, Randy, big shout out to Randy.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Our best friend, Randy.
Yeah, that's right. Helping take care of it. And then I thought it was also an interesting stat because, of course, PCA, who I hate, right? We've established that on the show, and it's because he's a Cub. That's 90%.
We can do that tomorrow again if you want.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Rami.
I'm good. Although maybe we start with Rami just to piss him off right away. But, he's going to be the MVP. I mean, he'd have to have the worst September in history to lose it. There is still a chance, but he'd have to really, really fall apart, and Ohtani would have to be on fire.
Did you see what the Cubs did yesterday to the Mariners?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of took it back out on the Mariners. They won 19-2. If you remember.
It was not 22-0, though.
Yeah,
so.
right. It wasn't. Do you know who was the starting pitcher in both those games? Bryce Miller threw in the Brewers 22-0, and then he's the only pitcher in the modern era to have his team lose by 15 or more runs in back-to-back starts.
Yeah, that's not a stat that you're looking to have on your resume.
Poor Bryce Miller.
For sure. Hey, you got to play in the majors, kid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a positive for you there. But, so looking at, he had, PCA had a game where he bookended with home runs.
Yeah.
And then we just played that highlight of Randy Arozarena, who did the same thing. Bookended the game with home runs. They were like
the second and third players to ever do that.
Crazy that they happen in the same series, right? It was the same series or the same
no,
week?
it was just before. It's same week,
same
though.
week.
Yes.
Insane the way that baseball works and with stats and everything like that, that literally the team that had the player to do it for the second time in history then has it done against them in the third. Also, remind me to bring this up with Rami. Did you see, like, even in the call that we heard there, which was a great call, but did you hear them say, and PCA can't get it?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even close. There was no way he could get it. That is a perfect example
but Josh,
of what annoys.
play hard.
Oh God, that's a perfect example of what annoys people about PCA. Like, you make that jump at the wall. Why does he do that? It's gone. It's like super gone. Like, there's no. Is he practicing? Does he think like maybe like a strong gust of wind is gonna like literally make it stop, like it hits an invisible wall? I don't understand it. It drives me bonkers. I don't get why he does that.
Can't
so
get
annoying.
It, and neither can anyone other than Superman.
Right. Unless this is Angels in the outfield and someone's lifting this guy 25 feet in the air, that ball is gone. But I did think, like, when he said that in the call, I was like, all right, like, PCA fooled you into thinking that was closer than it was. You watch the highlight, it was gone by 10, 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was not even close. Either way, love that it happened. Love that the Brewers gain a game. They're 6 up on the Cubs. We're going to continue the conversation with our friend Tim Allen. He's coming up next on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Aaron Morris. We're glad that all of you are with us as well. Keep it right here. The franchise, Tim Allen, after calling a post-game show last night, back up bright and early this morning to talk with all of you. Get your questions for Tim Allen in right now on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. That's next.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
It's time to wake up the franchise, Tim Allen.
All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Here's your host, Josh Albrecht.
1-2, McGill, and he struck him out, and the ball game is over. Trevor McGill nails down save number 24. A 2-1 Brewers win in the opener of this three-game series. Makes a winner out of the Miz. Riley on the first pitch, double play ball here. Pratt flips it, Terang fires it, double play, and the ball game is over. Aaron Ashby notches the save.
Dubon shaded up the middle. Here it comes. A check swing. Iglesias. He tried to dirt. It's scooped. Oh my goodness! What a play to end it. Iglesias bailed by Dubon, and then it's Olsen who swallows one in the dirt.
Yeah, I prefer the first two calls, the BA calls, especially because the Brewers won. Give me those. Good morning, Wisconsin. This is Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call, Hour 2. With you here, Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morse, and we welcome in the franchise, Tim Allen, who was on postgame last night, back up bright and early to join us this morning.
Sure.
Timmy, how are you?
I'm more important how you guys are.
Oh, we're better every time you join us.
Well, yeah, whatever. Look at this. Look at this if you're watching on YouTube. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
This is my Hank Aaron jersey that I got thanks to Crazy Sue.
Crazy Sue.
Crazy Sue. Yeah, she's crazy too. She's been cutting my hair for 30 years. So Crazy Sue went to the game, got a little crazy on Saturday and picked up the Hank Aaron jersey. These are nice.
Yeah, it's a nice giveaway.
It really is super cool. I love this thing.
Now, the only thing that I'll say I heard a few people out there saying because it's not it doesn't have the buttons, right? It's just like a pullover jersey.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Some people
I'm not
going
a
like
jersey guy though.
That's not a jersey. I'm like, it was free. Calm down.
Yeah, it's
Like,
cool. Did you know? I'll leave you with a news and note on this fact. Gorman Thomas wore number 44 at one point in a Brewers uniform.
Oh, Stormin' Gorman.
Was not aware
he wore
of that.
number 3, number 44, and then ultimately 20. Who, incidentally, then it was Jeremy Burnett's at 20 also. So
I was not aware of that.
don't get me going on all this jersey number stuff.
No, instead, Tim, we want to talk to you about the weekend for the Brewers. Let's just go in order here. Let's start with Friday. Miz on the mound. Continues pitching and just proving as much as people are talking about PCA being the MVP. Miz is your Cy Young right now.
He is, and if this keeps going, I think it might be a battle. Pitchers have won the MVP before, folks. That has happened. Doesn't have to be a position player. You can win both the Cy Young and the MVP if you're having a stellar season. He didn't have his best stuff on Friday, but that's how good he is.
Right.
And so you thought, however, for a second there, Miz versus Sale, that it might come out like that Miz game down in Atlanta, where late in the game, Atlanta comes back with Mauricio Dubon, of all people, who incidentally, I love that kid. I think he ranks in my top 5 interviews of all time. Believe it or not, Mauricio Dubon ranks in the top 5. A great individual. Comes from Honduras. I think the only Honduran player ever in Major League Baseball. But you thought on Friday that it was going to slip away, but that didn't happen. Pitching the name of the game. So they win 2-1 there. They subsequently win 4-1 the next day. And Henderson was outstanding. Look at the first 2 games. They give up a couple of runs to people forget about this Atlanta Braves team. They're good.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't Pat Murphy saying about the Rockies or the A's Murphy's always going to say, hey, that other team is pretty good. He's constantly saying that. This is legitimately a 2021 now over 500 team, the Atlanta Braves. So taking 2 of 3. Now, the unfortunate thing is you tie the season series at 3 each. And Aaron, I think you and I had discussed this, I think.
Yeah.
Why is the tiebreaker in the National League playoff seeding, if it ever comes to the Brewers and Braves, yeah, they tied in the season series 3-3. But then the default tiebreaker is what your divisional record is
instead of overall record.
Or common opponents or whatever it might be.
Yeah, because right now the Braves are 27-13 in the awful NL East.
Exactly.
And the Brewers are 22-11 in a competitive NL Central.
And they could chase them down on a division record, but unlikely with 31 games left. Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that, Tim, because I still feel, and this is what I said earlier when it comes to standings and the records, and because the Dodgers are now only 1 game back of the Brewers for the best record in baseball. I'm still just telling myself, as long as the Brewers take care of the Cubs and just pay attention to the Cubs, they'll have that best record. I think the Cubs are a good enough team that as long as we focus on the Cubs, I don't have to worry about the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel like Brewers and Cubs are a collision course in the playoffs. It just feels that way to me. Maybe not. I mean, we'll see what the seeding says, but really important that first or second seed. You got to maintain that, and they're in pretty good shape with that. Obviously, to win the division 6 up with 31 to play. That's still daunting if you're the Chicago Cubs. It really is. But it does come down to those head-to-heads, and I just don't think that either one of these two teams is going to take care of business in a sweep against each other. I hope that the Brewers do some heavy damage and just put the Cubs out of commission for the Central. But, I mean, I don't know if the Cubs are going to gain ground in those 7 games. 3-4, 4-3, I could see that happening in those 7.
Tim, I was going to say that they're up 6 on the Cubs and 5 on the Braves. If they have to worry about that Braves tiebreaker, I think we've got other things to worry about. They're probably a wild card team anyways. Then.
As well as the Central.
Yeah, because if the Braves catch him, that means the Cubs are probably catching him.
That's right.
And then they're a wild card, and it doesn't matter about a tiebreaker with the Braves. So
no, you're right.
It probably shouldn't come into play, I would hope. Otherwise, things have gone really bad in September.
That's what I'm saying, especially, too, you got to remember, it was, less than a week ago when we were saying, hey, do you think this Brewers team gets to 100 wins? There's no way that a team that finishes with 100 wins is a wild card team.
It's happened before.
I'm not seeing that happen.
It's happened before.
Yeah, it has. But they're going to have to, just continue to do their thing to get to 100. That game hurt yesterday a little bit. I thought they had it. I did. When Wild Bill hit that ball, oh, man, I thought it was walk-off city, and then there was the dog pile on the field, and the little leaguers are going to rush the court, and that didn't happen.
No, ball fell short, and the Brewers lose game 3. However, Miz was still the highlight. Did you see all the videos that came out, too, of the kids just obsessed with Miz? He's there, he's signing stuff, he's opening Pokemon cards with the kids in the stands. The little leaguers are looking at Miz as the next guy, which is pretty cool to see.
Oh, it's very cool to see. And let's see how MLB markets Jacob Mizorowski. I mean, the talk years ago was, Mike Trout, and you got to market to the younger audience. And you heard Rob Manfred, MLB's commissioner, yesterday on the broadcast, on the ESPN broadcast, talk about the fact that the demo is getting younger, and there's more young baseball fans. I think Yelich alluded to that a little bit, but more so as they know of Yelich as from MLB The Show, the video game.
Sure, from the video game. Yeah.
But so there's still some work to do with the marketing aspect of Major League Baseball, but Miz is right in the mix of that. And that was proof yesterday, to your point, that, he was a rock star yesterday with the younger demo. And we'll see what, MLB does. Look, when you compare what Major League Baseball and the adjustments they've made to the demographics out there, still baseball fans are older in demo. We understand that, but they want to young it up a little bit with the pitch clock and the ABS and the replays and all of this stuff. But compare it to, look at the attendance figures and look at the just this monsoon of a steamroll that the Savannah Bananas are on. And why is that? Well, first of all, they don't play 162 games.
Sure.
They play a lot. They just don't play 162 in one market. So you do have that appeal. That's almost like a concert tour. That does help that product. But also the product itself is this exciting interaction type thing. I'm not saying turn Major League Baseball into that. Maybe you could take a couple of things from the Savannah Bananas. I don't know what those are. I've never been to a Bananas game, but maybe there's a couple of things you could learn from that. And we'll see moving forward.
Yeah, I still think just being able to, especially for, the proof in these little leaguers, is having them see role models. Put young guys that do amazing things at the forefront, and you're going to get those kids that want to grow up to be just like those players. That's what's happening with Mizorowski right now.
I've said it before at County Stadium, Miller Park, and now AmFam. What the Brewers do in terms of their, marketing to the younger audience, the family-friendly, I've said it before, get kids addicted to Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Once they have expendable income, that addiction is still there. Yeah. So when ushers hand out a pack of baseball cards, or these players will dipple over to the railing and sign some autographs, or you give a baseball every chance you get. They're baseball. How much are baseball? Major League Baseball can handle it. Give kids, get them addicted as much as possible. I think that is part of the key, is the interaction with the younger audience.
Yeah, I feel like baseball in general has been focusing a lot on international and, because it's a new way to make money. And now they need to kind of turn their attention back to the future.
You look at the Super Bowl that thrown out there that it could be, internationally. Hell,
yeah, that's insane.
It wouldn't surprise me, Josh.
I know, but
surprise me. If the World Series at some point today, it's a neutral site, it's going to be in France, Germany, Australia, wherever.
No, you got to keep the championship at home.
You would think.
No, yeah. Oh, that would
Baseball
have people, including myself, up in arms.
It's Americana. It just is. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have that.
Quickly, it just reminded me, you said keep the championship at home. I was just thinking about the 1 and 2 seeds and home field advantage, if that comes into play, if you face the Dodgers and whatever the case is. This year, the way the schedule works out, if you are the home team, like the best record in baseball, and you're going to be the home team in every series, you get weekend playoff games, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, every single time. Does that matter at all? Versus having a weekday home game, which would be the alternative?
I guess.
I don't think so. I mean, not in Milwaukee. If it's a Tuesday day game, it's still going to be sold out.
I don't understand. We talked about it last year too. These postseason day games, weekday day games, Major League Baseball. Are you kidding? Seriously, if you want to play simultaneous games at night, I'm okay with that too. Early on in the playoffs, but to your suggestion there on weekends, I think it would matter just a little bit in demeanor. I mean, we're Wisconsinites here. What do we like to do on weekends? We all know what we like to do.
Yeah.
Our mood
have
is
a couple 2-3. Yeah.
Yeah. Our mood is so much better on weekends. It just is. It is for everybody. Even though I work every weekend for 26 of the 52 weekends, I still am in a better mood on the weekends. They give me a Tuesday night against the Cincinnati Reds, and it's like, it's Brewers baseball, and I'm fired up for it. But compare it to a Friday night, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's true. We also didn't talk about, and I want to get to quickly before the break here, Logan Henderson and that performance in game 2. Still felt like it was a little bit on edge just because of the opportunities that the Braves had to make that game closer. But Logan Henderson, I mean, what can you say about that dude being in your rotation?
You have to ask the question, and I think we know the answer, maybe. Is he legit and is he for real? He's 18 starts in the big leagues. Has yet to give up 4 or more runs. Yeah, that is incredible for the start of his career. In control. He was on the broadcast last night on ESPN, and he said, I thought it was a good question posed to him. What do you do when that happens? You give up a homer or something bad happens. You just focus on that next pitch, period. I think that's what he does, but this pinpoint surgical sort of delivery that he's got, and you can tell he's doing that. He scattered 5 hits and 2 walks. That's some traffic. It is through 6 innings. That is. But we have to remember how good the Atlanta Braves are. They're good. I mean, they're one of the best teams in all of baseball. We forget that. They're not the Atlanta Braves of last year, all beat up and just struggling. They're a really good baseball team. And Henderson, is he for real? Think about it. Think about it. Sometimes we've been duped before. A big start from a big first 7 or 10 starts from Taylor Youngman, and we got our guy, or whoever it might be. Steve Woodard back in the day in the 90s throwing a 2-hitter in his opener, and we got a real. So be careful on that. But it does look like if Henderson stays healthy, it looks like he is for real. Is he an ace? Maybe not. Is he a strong 2 or 3? I think we can definitely meet on 3, can't we?
I would meet you very quickly on 2.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if the debate is 2 or 3, he's in really good shape.
I think there are a lot of teams where he would be their ace.
Yeah,
he's just not Jacob Mizorowski.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I will say, every time that I see Henderson go out and pitch and put on a performance like he did, he had 6. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, but only 1 earned run in that game, that 4-1 win against the Braves. And I see that performance and I go, yep, glad thing. I'm very happy that he's still a Brewer and that he wasn't, the Brewers didn't just fold and move him to LA.
Some people fear, though, Josh, the changeup. Some people fear that it's not this dominating, high velo, blow you away type guy. Hey, look, that is a devastating pitch when it is dancing around. That changeup. Now you're going to hang one once in a while. It's going to have you can hang a curveball. If someone's sitting on a fastball, they're going to get you. Michael Harris sat on a slider low and away last night and got Ashby. So you can sit on a pitch, but oh man, the proof is in the pudding. Look at the stats for Henderson.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic to see what Henderson did, what he continues to do. Now you just hope that everyone can stay healthy. You knock on all the wood. And you just keep going and you keep winning series. Just keep winning series. That's what we've been saying all season long. All right, when we come back, your questions for the franchise, Tim Allen, plus your comments on what we just talked about. We see those coming in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. We'll get to all those and more next on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Aaron Morris. Tim Allen, the franchise, joining us on a Monday. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is proudly outfitted by Burghardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at BSG1881.com.
Hey, Josh, nice hat. Where'd you get
thanks.
that from?
I got it from Burghardt Sporting Goods. That's
Oh.
right. Yeah. Hey, nice mustache. Where'd you get
Thanks.
that?
I grew it.
No. Next time you should get a better one from Burghardt Sporting Goods. I'm just kidding. They don't sell mustache.
They should.
They
should
should
get in
though.
the mustache
They
business.
should get in the mustache business. All right. Wow. Crazy off the rails. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. Josh Schallberg to Aaron Morse, the franchise Tim Allen alongside. And the second time in 2 breaks where I've said, all right, we got to stop the conversation because this is good stuff and we got to save it. We got to save it for when we're back. We're talking about the Cubs and where they're at in the standings. And there's no Brewer game tonight, which I was like, I'm completely in the mode of the Brewers are playing every night. They don't get any more off days. They only have 2 left. Apparently, they have 4 left. 1 is tonight. And then after tonight, they still have off, what did you say, the 10th, 14th, and 21st?
Correct.
In September. So they still have 3 games or 3 days left after tonight that they will be able to rest. And first of all, that was surprising to me.
Yeah, that Thursday, Monday, quickie off days right there. Yeah, that I don't know if that's a real healthy thing, but maybe it is for the back end of that bullpen. That game yesterday, I'll tell you what, the Cubs, that was huge for them to pick up a game yesterday, to go from 7 to 6. Think about that, with 7 games back and 31 to play, at the risk of jinxing it.
Don't do that.
It was really close to being over. It just was.
I think if it's 7 going into August 31st, that 4-game series, I'm very confident. I don't think the Brewers would lose the division because
no doubt.
The Cubs aren't sweeping the Brewers in either one of those series.
Well, they could. Don't jinx that.
No, I think at best the Cubs can go 5-2, which would mean they would gain 3 games. You'd still be up 4 games with 15 to play.
At that point,
you can't make up that ground in that amount of time.
I mean, you can't. Tough. You absolutely can. It is physically possible to do so.
However, what if the Cubs go on a big losing streak?
Well, so then that was the other thing that we talked about on Twitter. Someone, Wisco1303, Kyle Harrison Enjoyer, tweeted out, Cubs are now closer to missing the playoffs than winning the NL Central.
Oh, man,
they are 4.5 games up from not making it, right? The Phillies are 2 games behind them for the top spot, and then the Padres in that 3rd spot, 4.5 games behind.
Our buddies down there at the Score, all those fans that,
I mean, that would be a complete, utterly. I mean, the same way we're talking right now about feeling confident in what the Brewers would have to do to lose a Central, it would be a bigger collapse for the Cubs.
Oh man,
to not make.
Yeah, that's how they're talking about making the playoffs.
Look
right?
at their POF right now, Aaron.
Their POF
playoff odds for those that don't know
is 97.8.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a monumental
right
exit from the playoffs.
Historic exit.
And Craig Counsell would be through 3 of his 5 years as manager.
Now, here's one that I will say, because especially tonight, if you're like me and you go, boy, when the Brewers don't play baseball, it gets pretty dry out here in the summer. You're looking at the fact that the Cubs play the Diamondbacks. They start their series with the Diamondbacks tonight. The Diamondbacks are 1 game out of the postseason for that 3rd wild card spot.
They shut down the Dodgers a couple of weeks ago. Something fierce.
And they definitely have something to play for. I mean, they are literally in the thick of it. 1 game behind the Padres for that final spot. I mean, if they went and swept the Cubs or did something like, I don't even know where they are at for the season series, but that would be huge.
Oh, it'd be big. And if you're the Diamondbacks, you got to win series to have a shot. You just got to keep going. Their pitching's been known to just haul off. I don't know what their probables are. But, when you get to, I think it's the 20s in games left, so which would be Tuesday, Wednesday. It'd be Thursday, game 3 of this Mets series, which starts tomorrow. When you get into the 20s, my experience is that the collective fan base of the Brewers, they're all scoreboard watching. We always ask, well, when do you scoreboard watch? I've been transparent on that forever. Game 1, opening day, I'm watching the scoreboard. They're all the same. But just in terms of the casual fans or, these, hey, it's Packer season, but, I'll keep an eye on the Brewers. They're doing good, huh? I think once you get into the 20s and games remaining, that's when everybody jumps in this pennant race stuff.
Keep in mind the Cubs head-to-head results with the Diamondbacks so far. They only played them one other time this year, and they swept them in a 3-game series at the beginning of May. So they could not – it's not like it would still come to them being tied even if the Diamondbacks swept the Cubs this time around.
So that's another game, yeah.
Correct. But I'm not really worried about that as much as I am the fact that the Diamondbacks have motivation. That's not a team that's just going to completely roll over here at the end of August.
Race. This is a pennant race for those guys.
Right. They took care of the Brewers when the Brewers came to town.
Yeah.
So we will have that to focus on tonight if you're worried. Also, that game it's late though. It's in Arizona, so it's a 9:40 start out there. Yeah. So, but it did have me thinking. Do you hate watch baseball?
For sure.
Okay, thank you. Aaron Morris does not hate watch, Tim. He doesn't do it.
No?
He'll just
I don't concern myself. The Wolf doesn't concern themselves with the opinions of the sheep.
Oh, my goodness. Play the back-to-back walk-off losses by the Cubs over the weekend. That's beautiful.
Listen, listen. That's great. And when I see that, it's fantastic. But I'm not, following along, waiting for it to happen.
In fact,
I check in afterwards.
Okay, I'll go you one further. I'll be having the score on in Chicago, and the Brewers are off, and the Cubs are playing. And I'll when Pat Hughes will say, "Swinging a drive to deep left, and this ball is," he's ready to say gone. I'll just turn the radio down. I just don't want to hear it, and then I'll wait 30 seconds, a minute or so. And then I'll turn it back up.
Yeah, I hate listening. See,
that's hate listening.
Hate listening. I'm not to the hate listening, but I'll definitely hate watch as the game is going on.
If the Cubs Brewers, let's say they start at 6:40, before I go to bed, I'll just check in to see the score.
That's
okay.
It.
Cool. But I do that for the Dodgers, and I do that for the Reds and Cardinals too.
No.
So Brewers in a heated pennant race, and let's say things tighten up, or maybe it's for the 1 seed. You're not going to take a peek at a Dodger game with 2 games remaining and the Brewers are neck and neck or something?
No, I'll probably just wait till the end. Wait till the end of the night. Check in.
Here's what you do. You need to hit the Potawatomi Sportsbook because I'll promise you'll watch those games.
Yeah. Life is more exciting with money on the line. Yeah. There you go. The 608 chimes in, and here's a good rebuttal to what I'm saying about hate watching here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk text line. 608 says, "Look at what Wisconsin sports have done to you guys. Please stop letting the Cubs live rent-free. Cubs radio is currently talking about who they are playing in the World Series. You guys always give LaFleur hate for having a timid mindset, but look in the mirror." Okay, here's my rebuttal to that, my argument against that. This, to me, is just looking at the numbers. If you're in a race and you know that every time someone else loses, you get closer to the finish line, how are you not watching that? Yeah. I wasn't watching the Cubs all year long. I don't care
about the Cubs.
But I'm watching the Cubs now. I'm watching the Cubs knowing that every time they lose, that magic number gets closer and closer.
I don't care about the Cubs. I don't care about them.
Here,
so I'm not going to waste my time on them.
Was that your burner phone that you texted that in?
No, I'm just saying I don't care about them. I'm not wasting my time on them. Little brother doesn't need my attention.
I do agree with the texter. I do agree to a certain portion of that. Here's my response to that, though. And I can't help it. I have a problem. I hate the Chicago Cubs.
Hi, my name's Tim Allen, and I have a problem.
Way, shape, or form cannot stand anything to do with that baseball team. And this isn't just this year. This has been forever. This has been all the way back to, wow, what a beautiful, it's a mild sedative, a Cubs day game. This is before the lights came in. a Cubs day game during the week in the summer. What a beautiful sedative to take a nap to. I hate that team, and I'll go you one further. I expressed that sentiment to Pat Murphy about 5 years ago. He literally told me I need help. I needed to go talk to someone about my hatred of the Cubs. You've heard of this hate syndrome. I'm not going to get into politics, but that hate syndrome, I have it against the Chicago Cubs, and I'll admit it. So if there's some therapy I could go through, I cannot help it, guys. I can't help it.
I feel bad for people that don't hate watch on days like today. Because then what do you do? Like if you don't hate watch and then your team's not playing, what are you watching?
Well, tonight there's a doubleheader on FS1 that I'll probably tune into instead.
You'd rather watch a doubleheader on FS1 than pay attention to what the Cubs are doing in their game against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What do we got? Rays Tigers. Ooh, yeah, should be a good one.
Oh,
Drew Rasmussen on the mound.
There's no way I'm believing that this is
Drew
true.
Rasmussen on the mound. Come on.
You're just looking for people to hate you.
And
You're
then
choosing Rays Tigers
in Reds Giants, we got Chase Burns on the mound.
Reds and the Giants.
No, this is what.
Come on.
The guy grows a mustache. This is what he does. All right. Listen, I want to get to this too because I think this is interesting as we talk about this. 920 said, I'm nervous for the 7 games with the Cubs coming up. I know that there are a lot of people that are nervous for those 7 games and essentially saying that they think that those 7 games are going to determine the rest of the season and the outcome for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Could.
I'm with you, Tim. You mentioned it earlier in the last segment. I had a really hard time believing that either team dominates those 7 games.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a battle that ends up maybe a team gaining a game or 2.
The worst it can get is a team probably losing 5 of the 7.
Absolute extreme.
Yeah.
Right.
Neither team is going to get a sweep in either series.
For the record, it is absolutely possible for one team to win all 7 games.
It is.
You keep saying these absolutes.
It's not going to happen. Neither side will get a sweep.
Very unlikely.
Neither side will get a sweep.
Think of how big a games those are for the Chicago Cubs. Far bigger for Chicago than Milwaukee. That's clear. I look at it as it's probably going to be a series similar to the Dodgers series, maybe similar to this Braves series, where you get a couple of heavyweights going at it. It's going to be a play here, a play there that's going to determine a couple of these games. Yeah, you might have one get loose on you and the Brewers run away, 9-3 or something. Or it's possible it could happen the other way around too, obviously.
I mean, the Cubs offense can go off.
They can.
There's a world where the Brewers don't win either series, and what happens is absolutely fine. They could split the 4 in Wrigley. They could win one of the 3 in Milwaukee, and they go 3-4 against the Cubs, and that is
no heavy
a fantastic scenario. You lose 1 game,
and you chewed up 7 games in the schedule.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm not too nervous about it.
It's a good place to be in. My whole thing is that I'm still going to sit here and say things can happen so quickly, and until it's done, it's not done.
Should we look at the pitching matchups for the 4-game series?
No, I don't think we're there yet.
No,
Dustin May.
But I will say, and I'm going to tease this up for the other side, that last year around this time, Tim, I don't feel like we were having these type of conversations as much as we are this year. Obviously, it's a closer race across the board than it was last season. You didn't have the Dodgers. The Dodgers weren't fighting you for the best record in baseball as much. Right. Obviously, you had the Phillies were right there.
Though, Josh, I'd have to look at where the Brewers were versus the Cubs here on this date last year. How many games up?
Yeah.
It seems like it was closer than 6.
I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at that during the break, come back and talk about it on the other side, because I think that there's something that might be the secret sauce of where this team is at right now. And we'll talk about that and more with the franchise, Tim Allen, when we come back on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morris, and the franchise alongside on a Monday on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's the return of the fan favorite everyone's been asking for. The Pretzel Bacon Pub Cheeseburger is back at Wendy's. Fresh, never frozen beef, creamy beer cheese, applewood smoked bacon, and crispy onions, all on a pretzel bun. Add a side of delicious bacon pub fries to create a combo so good you'll feel like you're at an actual pub after just one bite. It's available for limited time only, so don't delay. Get to Wendy's today. Got Wendy's for the fam over the weekend. We're a big biggie bag home. Just everyone gets a biggie bag. You get a biggie bag. You get a biggie bag. And I was like, I'm not getting a biggie bag. I'm not doing it.
What?
I'm trying.
What?
I'm trying the pretzel bun burger.
Okay, those are.
It was so good. The bacon pub burger.
They had them like right after COVID hit is when they first released them.
Yeah.
And me and my roommates at the time, we went like 3 times a week to go get those pub burgers.
I mean,
I'm not even joking.
A lot. But it was good.
They are so good. We were like, oh yeah, we're going to go to a pub burger. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I hit the Wendy's after a Friday night gig in Waukesha, headed back to Kenosha, drunk.
What?
And
what?
We pulled into Wendy's at Ryan Road there.
Yeah.
And just by the time I got to Highway E in Kenosha, I was sleeping after that.
Man, you ever have that to where like you had a couple 2-3 and then you're halfway through a fast food meal and you just pass out?
No,
burger in hand.
No.
Yes.
Oh no,
I
can't say.
I got a buddy, my buddy Brian, who will text me that happens way too often. He'll wake up at like 3 a.m, burger still in hand,
I gotta
taco
finish my
still in,
food,
and then he'll be like, "Oh,
Woke up
still
in
got some
Vegas.
bonus taco. Let's go."
Woke up in Vegas to an explosion of I bought some Chinese food 2-3 in the morning.
Explosion of what?
Just there was Chinese food everywhere. Just I couldn't believe how
What
much
happened?
rice was I don't know.
Oh my God.
The lamp was tipped over. I'm not
You
sure
probably
what
swung your arm or kicked your leg and everything went
know.
flying.
There's just way too much food spread in way too many different directions.
All right, I'm reeling it in as we wrap up the show here. I want to make sure I get to some of these texts as they tie into the point I wanted to make. The 262 said, guys, it's not just the Cubs series. We also play the Reds for 6 and the Pirates for 3. Shortly after that, we've got the Phillies for 3. And then we close out the season against the Cardinals. It's a brutal way to finish the season.
I don't know. Is that brutal?
I don't know that it's that brutal. I mean, you're playing divisional games, sure. And the Central is a tougher division. But you got to also remember, like, at that point, all these teams are playing spoiler. Besides the Phillies, all the other teams you listed are spoilers.
And they're playing a little more loose. And I think the Cincinnati Reds are a better ball club than their record indicates. I really do. And I know I get a lot of grief for that too, that I think they do have some good talent on that team. And things just haven't gone right for them. So in that respect, yes, I understand. But I mean, you look at these two teams in St. Louis and Cincinnati and even Pittsburgh. The rest of the division here, just not you can't define them as good baseball teams. You can't.
Right. I will say this, Tim. I feel like last season, especially let's just say after, start of the second week of September, the Brewers had it locked up. They had the division locked up, and they were just worrying about that top spot, and it wasn't even at that point like it was all right. Are we getting the first or the second seat? That was it. And I wonder if being that young and that fresh and in that position kind of ended up hurting them a little bit. I know we talk about fatigue and wanting rest, but having the rest of the league force the Brewers to stay competitive, I think that might be good for this team. It forces them to get creative to continue winning baseball games.
And the experience of what they've gone through the last couple of years, that has to help. And I understand that, I mentioned they're not good teams, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and St. Louis. Can they play good for a series? Sure. Overall, are they a good baseball team in comparison to some of these heavy hitters? No, they're not. But the experience alone, That's another year under the belt of a Bryce Terang. Another year under the belt of Sal Frelick. By the way, he's going to get playing time, folks. And I know that rubs people the wrong way when you compare it to Lara and, Mitchell and some of these other guys. You have to give him the opportunity. But again, that's experience for William Contreras into these big heavyweights going at it, whether that's a pennant race, trying to stave off the Dodgers, whatever it might be, trying to get the 1 or 2 seed, or in a postseason. Guys, I think that can't hurt you going through what the Brewers have gone through the last 2 years. They get bounced out in a lightning strike with Alonso. They learn from it. They come back. They win that game, meaning win or go home situation, the very next year against the Chicago Cubs. Will they take that advancement here this year? I don't see why not.
Yeah,
I just don't see why not.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Also, the 262 says, I used to live next to a Jimmy John's, and I've woken up with a sub on my chest more than once. There you go. I love it. We could have done a whole show just on different foods you've woken up.
I gotta finish my food before I fall asleep. It is my task to finish my food.
You are.
You gotta have some You gotta have some motivation.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you this: if you're looking to find some motivation, you should get on whatever plan Tim Allen is on. Did the post game last night, joined us this morning, and you can hear Tim Allen for Sparky this afternoon from 2 to 5 on Wisconsin Sports Daily.
Tim Dillard joins me at 2:20 today.
How about that?
Tim and Tim.
I
love it. Well, thank you, Timmy. We appreciate you, and we will make sure to catch up with you again next week, Monday.
See you next week.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for this hour of the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call, hour 1 as well. We appreciate it. Steve Zabin is back. Zabe and Josh, back together. The Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht is coming up next. We will talk with Zabe about how his vacation went, my vacation went, how his thoughts on Smack and the Packers preseason game, his thoughts on the Brewers as things get tighter in the end of August as we get closer to September, his thoughts on the Cubs and what he's going to watch tonight since there's no Brewers game. We appreciate you joining us for the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Aaron Morris. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll do it all again tomorrow because we are not done yet.